Hey, good afternoon guys, welcome back to the Founders Series. Here we are on the production line, final assembly point with an E.C.D Automotive Design. I'm Scott Wallace, CEO, one of the founders of the company, been with E.C.D now for over 12 years. What we're going to do today is walk you through the south line production so we can show you how we make some of our vehicles. As you'll see behind me, we've got the south line on the left hand side and we've got the north line on my right hand side. North line is typically where we build our British classics. South line is where we build our more domestic classic vehicles, and I'm going to walk you through all the processes that we go through in the south line today. So come with me, let's have a look around. So basically we've got multiple phases in each line. Each phase has got a number of days to complete their tasks, and this is where we combine craftsmanship, skill set and process. So it is very much a combination of two factors. We've got technicians who are empowered to employ their skills into each vehicle. We've got specifications for each build in written format, in visual format as well for our clients and our technicians to use. And we've also got some, we also have written process for how to do each car as well. One of the things I talked about in our previous video is we brought in some real automotive industry manufacturing firepower to help us evolve that over the next few months. And we're working with those guys that have come in and they've got a combined 200 years plus of automotive experience, so that we're refining some of our processes to make them more visible and fluid, and that we can really work towards that quality and perfection pursuit that I keep talking about in most of the videos that we're trying to achieve here at E.C.D. So in the first phase here, what we're doing is we've got the main body of the vehicle has been through the body prep process. This is a Blazer. This has been through the body prep process and is now going through the first stage of assembly on the line. The roller for this vehicle, the frame, etc., is another part of the building being prepared as well. But in this stage here, we'll be getting the car ready to sit on the rolling frame. We'll also be doing any final fabrication work or anything we need in this stage, ready to move it forward to the next stage where we're doing drivetrain installation, electrics, and some cosmetic assemblies. So let's walk up to that part of the line, we'll show you that as well. And here's a good example of a vehicle that's already been through the stage before it. So in this vehicle now, this is in drivetrain installation, sub-cosmetic assemblies, electrical installation, and they're also doing some test fitting and upholstery right now, you can see. CR is one of our more rounded techs, so CR has been involved in pretty much every vehicle we build here in E.C.D, whether it's one of our domestics or one of our British classics. CR right now is doing some installation of the drivetrain work, getting ready for its pre-fire up inspection. He's also working around with the electrics team that will be on this car as well. So on this one you can see the difference clearly before it was in the last bay, that the drivetrain is situated, the rolling frame is placed, the electrics have been installed, and they're test fit some of the upholstery, etc. So this vehicle is probably about 10 days ahead of the one that we just looked at behind it. And then if you move to the next phase here, we've got a car that's already almost complete. It's going through its testing and functional checks now. So the car has been assembled. They're doing a test fit on the bimini top on the roof of the Blazer. Interesting to see here. You can already see in the business model that one-of-one approach that we have to every car. So it's really important we emphasize that. No two cars that go through the line are the same. Every single car is specific to each owner. Every client has designed that themselves through the design process I spoke about in previous videos. In that journey, each client is making it a true one-of-one vehicle. John and our client services team work with them, our design team then work with them to turn it into visual reference so that they can approve and sign off and review and make amends in real time. But the real difference in E.C.D is the intellectual property of this vehicle remains with the client. We'll never repeat the car. People may ask to make something similar, but we'll always ask that they do something different to each vehicle, and that we'll apply those individual, really small touches to each vehicle. So in the collection you've just seen, although they're very similar in colour, they will be very different cars at the end. And then moving forward, you can see the two cars here, with the orange one with a white banner stripe and the green one with a white banner stripe, and a hard top versus soft top. And they're good examples of some of the things that each client's choosing. So although we're in an assembly line model and we're trying to get the efficiencies of small vehicle manufacturing, we're also getting that fluidness of customization that you'd get in a small mom and pop shop. So really we're kind of that hybrid of small vehicle manufacturing, but the fluidness of small shop customization, and we've tried to create processes, systems and people that allow us to do that. So in this vehicle here, you can see that it's gone through, drivetrain installation is done, they've done the pre-fire up on the car, they've done the cosmetics, they're doing a functional checklist now. And then if we move forward, Chris, how are you doing, sir? You good? So on this one here, what Chris is doing is it's gone through and it's had its white stripe applied. So now they're applying the chrome and the wood finish to the vehicle, so those will be the final touches. They're also doing some testing electrically inside the vehicle on function checks again. So this was in a similar stage as to the vehicle behind it, but this one's probably just come back through paint, so they're finishing that one off. And then this will then go to its final quality inspection process, where a pre-shipper will do an inspection, multi-point inspection process. And then after that, it then goes to our end QC shipper, who will do the same process and check it. And in between then, they'll be doing test miles and snag lists and punch lists to make sure the car's ready for the client. So this one's already as well, completely different engine to the last one, as you'll notice as well. Very different setup, and already been through its fire up and just going through final inspections, implementations of some of the cuts of cosmetics aspects of the vehicle ready to go. So that's the production line in a flow of all the different phases, from the base car and the roller, then engine installation, then electrics, and then final assembly. But behind the white walls in ECD are what we call the feeder departments. Feeder departments are what allow us to create like a Lego model for each vehicle. So when the guys are putting the cars together, they've already been pre-fed key elements of the car that have been put together by sub-departments, so that they can assemble the car on the line and help the car flow in a steady timeline and efficient way. So we're going to take you behind the scenes now and show you some of those key departments that feed into this main line, and that will probably help you put together how we put the in-circle cars together. Oh, and there's a live fire up for you as well. And this is Mike. Mike's one of our supervisors who runs the South Pine, so he did some function checking here. But you saw a real-time fire up test as well there on the video. Right, so let's go into some of the sub-departments. So our biggest sub-department is behind that's one of two of our larger departments, is behind the white wall at the back. That's the fabrication, tear-down, welding department, and the heavy body prep we do there. We isolate that because we call it the dirty end of the business. It's where all the heavy duty should be done, so we isolate that. And then at the other end, if you want to turn around 180 degrees, on the wall where it says the ECD logo, you will see that behind that wall is the paint department. We call it the lab. So that's the department that does all the body prep and the paint and final finish. And then along the side here, we've got create it, build it, live it. Create it is the sub-electrics department. Build it is the sub-cosmetics department, and live it is the upholstery department. So let's go and have a look inside each of those. So this is electrics. So here's Kevin. So we talked earlier about some of the specification sheets, which Kevin's got here. It's always interesting by department, because some departments will use the specification list and others will use the 3D reference as their guide. Typically, you'll find that electrics will use the list because there's a lot more detail. And upholstery, for example, you'll see that they use 3D renderings so that they use a visual reference for the cars. But what Kevin's done here is he's got every sheet that's a car that's in production, and you can see all the electrical needs for each truck. I always like to do a thumb test. And what that demonstrates is what I talked about earlier, where each car is one of one. And you can see in this example I'm going to give the number of different choices that clients have, and you can see the number of different choices they make, but how many electrical and in-car entertainment options there are on each vehicle. So if you take this one here, we've got that many options for electrical. And then if you go to that one there, you can see you've got these additional ones. And just take things like the speakers, for instance. We've got Hertz Mealy systems there, Infinity Kappa there, Pioneer here, Infinity Kappa on this one, Sony Marine here. So just across that small sample of cars, you can see that there's already, just in one choice, which is the speakers, how many different variants we've got for each car. And then you'll see Kevin here. So Kevin will be making a harness for each car. So that will vary depending on whether it's a British Classic or whether it's a harness for one of the domestic vehicles. So Kevin will bring that in the sub-assembly. All the sub-electrical harnesses will be built in here as well by hand. And then the main harness and the sub-harnesses will be fed to the production lines so the guys, the electrical install team, can just overlay them into each vehicle. So this is one of our key departments behind the scenes, where all the electrics are pre-planned. All right, so let's go now into sub-cosmetics. So we're going to talk about some of the things we do behind the scenes here to help feed the line. This is Topher. Topher is one of our technicians that works in sub-cosmetics. How you doing, man? Responsible for all the door build-up. We'll get involved in wings, some of the clamshells for the E-types, etc. Good example here, what we're doing is this is a rebuild of a door for a Range Rover Classic. So paint department have already provided the return parts and paint. So the doors have been through teardown, the doors have been through body prep, the doors have been through paint. Then they come back to Topher. Topher will hang them on the racks, and then they'll pull them one at a time, and we'll rebuild all the doors. On the Defenders, typically we'll convert manual to electric, and in here we'll test all the actuators, everything's working, all the electrics. We'll make sure the glass is good, and in effect Topher will hand the production line 5 for a Defender, fully prepared doors that will then go onto the vehicle for easy assembly. How you doing, boys?
Hello, how are you?
How you doing, boys? Whoa!
Sorry, man.
Good. Are you? Good? Good. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into the upholstery team. Be warned, this is one of more of the vibrant departments in ECD. They're typically fairly lively. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. You good?
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Okay, good.
So this is upholstery. So in this department, we'll do all the upholstery items of each vehicle. So that could be headliner, consoles, dash trims, seats, all those specifications that each client has asked for. And again, in this department, if you just look behind you, you can see the differences in not just types of seats. You'll see different leather finishes, different pattern finishes, different stitches. This is the department where, with the visual references, you can see on the 3D, renderings the examples and dimensions of everything that a client has specified. So the client has approved it, and now guys get to see it visually. Oh, here we go. So JC's got one with us here. So on here you can see on this specification, so you can get right into every single detail of that seat and trim and pattern. So the guys are checking it back to something visual rather than a list like I just showed with the electrical guys. So every single element is considered in 3D, and they can zoom in and zoom out of every aspect of the car, and what that does is emits errors for us. So that's a good example of what I was talking about earlier. And then if you look in here, so here's a finished set. So I believe this is a Range Rover, Range Rover Classic. So everything's laid out ready for the production team. The final assembly team, sub-cosmetics final assembly team will take these parts and they'll implement and put them onto the car when it's ready. So this will be quality checked by each department head and then released to the main line for assembly. We just got a real-time update there on the line, the north line, not the south line. I believe they're going to do a fire up on this vehicle. So this will be the first fire up. So on that team now, you've got electrics, drivetrain, and cosmetics technicians. So they're all working together to get that first fire up done. So we'll capture that for you, and you can see a real-time fire up happening in ECD. It's a big part of the day where everybody gets excited when you hear the heart of the business, the heart of the car come to life. I think one of the things that we discuss a lot in ECD is kind of what are the critical elements. There's so many critical elements: the building itself, the production process, the systems. But honestly, if you had to kind of put me on one thing, I'd kind of bet on the people. I think the thing we've done really well at ECD is we've not just assembled a really good crew, we've given them autonomy to allow them to make decisions in real time in production. And that's really helped with our retention rates, mechanics. So we maintain that, we retain that knowledge all the time. But I think continually focusing on letting technicians be technicians has been something that's key to our success. Now, supporting that with good process and building the facilities is absolutely where it all comes together. But I think what we've been really successful in ECD is finding really talented automotive misfits and tinkerers that want to do this at a weekend, and they just do it for work and enjoy it, and they put their part into every car that we build. And I think that's one of the differentiators in ECD. And I think when clients or fans, or when they come to the facility and they meet the people that are building these cars, it's really a collection of craftsmen and craftswomen with highly skilled, that I think is a dying breed in the world. And I think in ECD what we do is we don't only bring them into a world when they can ignite their passion, but they thrive in an environment where we allow them to put their own identity on each vehicle and bring it to life for every client. One of the other things when we design the new facility is we put my office and the production director's office right at the end of the line. That gives us a big glass window in each of our departments where we can see the cars finishing on the line. And we often, make a point of coming out and seeing every vehicle as it's going through the final steps of production. So it's really useful to have that kind of fishbowl effect where production director and myself are interactive in the line and we can see cars getting built in real time. And I'm sure some of the techs don't know that, but we probably made a little bit more than we should. But we put ourselves right in the heart of the plant and not some ivory tower in the building. So now we're going to go into the lab. This is the paint shop where we put all the color on every vehicle. One of probably the biggest decisions that every client makes is the color of the vehicle. We're proud to use a PPG Deltron product. We used a high quality product in all our vehicles. We have prep booths and we have a paint booth. We mix all of our paint on site as well. This is the only department in ECD that currently runs a 2-shift pattern. So the paint facility runs on a 16-hour day with 2 paint shifts so that we can keep feeding the line in the model I spoke about earlier. So it's even heated as well, so we can run it that way so we can fill the paint quicker. And they're doing a live run, a paint run now, and they're just painting I believe that's the roll cage for one of our, no it's not, it's the frame for one of our Blazers. So so that's the paint department. And then obviously in here you can see them doing some live prep on a one of our Mustangs as well. And then after the vehicle is gone through its final production and QC checks at that end of the facility on the assembly line, then it'll come to our pre-ship studio where one of our senior technicians will double check all the work that's done again and then ship it onwards to the client. So that's it. I hope that gave you a good insight into behind the scenes on the production assembly line at ECD. We're very proud of the facility, but most of all I think we're really proud of the people, and I think those things are putting the client at the centre of the experience design 101, empowering mechanics to build cool stuff and letting them put their heart and passion into each vehicle. And then our process is built around it to ensure that we build really good one-on-one vehicles with efficiencies of small volume manufacturing, but that fluidness to make it special for every client. Thanks for tuning in. I'll speak to you again soon.